know?
A big comment that she gets in Chinese all the time in her channel is that she's a foreign toilet. Isn't that horrible?
It's terrible.
Right.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards.
So, we find ourselves in a temple.
We do.
It's quite the apt place to talk about this topic of whether or not people belong to other people.
Sure. I feel like most religions kind of push that idea of equality. Actually, that's absolute nonsense. But I think Buddhism does. It's pretty equal, right? You shouldn't hurt other beings, hurt other people, right?
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to bring this topic, to the forefront is because of the amount of times we get told, and our wives get told, and everyone gets told, that we're stealing women. And I mean, this is not just something that happens in China, right? Pretty much everywhere you go, and you've got racists, or you've got people who are, sort of ethno-xenophobes, or whatever. It's all about, like, you're stealing our women.
Right.
It's a common thing.
Right.
Like if you see a black dude with a white chick,
Right.
the white nationalists will be like, you're stealing our women.
Sure.
Or you see a black chick with a white dude, the black guys are like, you're stealing our women.
Right.
So it brings the whole question, like, do women actually belong to a certain country or a race?
Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that you've come up with these, ideas or these different variations of the stealing of the women thing, but I feel like most people don't believe that, right? I feel like most people don't believe that. If you ask the average white person if they saw a white girl with a black guy, promise you they wouldn't care. I promise you, the average white man, right?
Okay.
If you went to some small backwater town in, I'm going to not say Alabama this time, in Arkansas, right? You might find that. You might find that, right? Or if you watch a certain Gillette ad, you might get that impression as well. But in 2019, that is more of a talking point than it is a reality, right?
Yeah.
However, when you move to other countries, let's bring up Korea, China, these places that are incredibly homogenous.
Yes, very homogeneous.
Then that becomes an issue, right? So we are specifically going to talk about China today.
Correct.
Right?
And that's because it affects us
Now,
in a big way.
first question I want to ask you is, how many people, or what have they said to you directly about this issue?
Well, directly to my face, the only time it's ever happened is in a joking manner.
Okay.
Because whenever I go out and drink with Chinese people and they find out I have a Chinese wife, then you can tell they're like just a little bit annoyed, and they'll start to crack a few little jokes.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, you foreigners love to come to China because of our beautiful girls.
Our beautiful girls. They'll say
Yeah.
things. Do you think they're beautiful? Like they want you
Yeah,
to.
it's like, or they'll be like, yeah, that's right, Chinese girls are way more beautiful than the girls in your country, right?
Right.
You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's kind of like a jive. It's
That's
like,
fine.
oh, you little son of,
Right.
son of a gun.
Whatever though, it's fine.
yeah.
It's harmless.
But online, the vitriol is real.
Right.
And towards me and my wife, she's got her own little channel.
Right.
It's massive. It's
Right.
huge amounts.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say exactly the same on Vivi's channel, my channel. We get it all the time. But it's happened to me twice to my face.
Like real life.
In real life in
Okay,
China.
like, explain.
One time I was carrying Vivi on my back, like piggyback,
Uh-huh.
and we were walking through the streets. It was probably like 9 or 10 p.m.
Mhm.
And there's these guys. I'm gonna have to cut out some of this story. There are these guys that came out from, it was like a wine bar type thing.
All right.
People don't ever understand wine when they go there. They're just going to show off.
Sure.
This guy comes out with his friends and they're all smoking cigarettes. This guy must have been like 4'11". Like he was very small, but
Just wanted to, sorry, I
Yes.
just wanted to say maybe we should start a bar, an ADV bar. It can be a wine bar because we just whine
about China all the time.
Yeah,
It's not a bad idea.
Continue.
This guy was probably like 4'11", very fat though. You know,
Okay.
the typical like
Pig speak.
pig speak, got rich for no reason
Sure.
type of guy. He comes out and he sees, and he goes, "Hey!" First he like jabs his friends a little bit,
Yeah,
and points.
yeah.
He goes, "Hey, 老外，你干嘛要偷我们中国的女生?" Right?
Right.
And I didn't understand at the time. This is my first year, by the way.
Right.
So we're walking in. Vivi's like, "Put me down." And I was like, "What? What did he just say?" And she didn't. She starts yelling at him in Chinese, right?
Yeah.
But I don't speak Chinese at this point. So I asked, "What did he say?" And she said, "Why are you stealing? You stupid foreigner! Why are you stealing your Chinese women? Our Chinese women?" So I said, "Tell him this."
Yeah.
I said, "Tell him this. Tell him. Ask him, is my girlfriend his? Right?"
Yeah.
And so she did something along those lines, but I don't think she listened to me. I think she did her own thing.
Yeah,
So
sure.
And he started coming. I'm going to cut the story there, but that was like a drunk guy.
Yeah.
But in one scenario, it was like a real thing. And it was weird because I was just standing at a freaking, what's it called? A stoplight
Okay.
where you cross the street.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's really hot. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, we are.
And I was waiting to cross, and these guys, and there was a woman in the party as well. It was the middle of the day,
Yeah.
and I was alone.
Okay.
And the guy says, "That's the guy with the Chinese wife," because obviously they lived near me or something in my neighborhood. And they started chatting. We were walking down the street, and they were just behind me, and I'm listening to it the whole time. And then for some reason, one of the guys gets enough confidence. He actually did this. He walked up and he tapped me on the shoulder,
Yeah.
and he said, "Why don't you go to your own country to find a girlfriend?" And I was like, "What?" This time I can understand, by the
Sure,
way.
sure.
And there's a lot of people there, and I was like, I didn't even say anything. I didn't defend myself or anything. I was very upset. I was very like, "Are you kidding me?"
You should ask Vivi, like, would you date this guy?
That was the previous one, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
this one, she wasn't even with me. I was just alone, right? And I was just like, whatever. But that kind of feeling, I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it low key happens to me a lot. Like, I'll go
Right.
get my hair cut, which,
Right.
by the way, you know why I look bald all the time? It's because I go to this terrible barber who doesn't know that you're supposed to leave it a little longer for us boys who are losing a little bit of
Right,
hair.
right. Or have a,
Like,
yeah.
or at least cut a nice defined widow's peak or something. He
Right.
just kind of leaves it. He just,
He doesn't care.
He's useless. I should stop going to this barber. Anyway, the thing is, I go to the barber and I sit down, and other other customers will come sit down and they're chatting, and he'll always be like, "Oh yeah, this foreigner, he's got a Chinese wife, and she's actually really pretty." And then
Right.
the other ones will be like, "Oh, you're coming to find out pretty
Right,
Chinese,"
right,
that
right.
kind of nonsense. It happens a lot, but there was actually one sort of aggressive incident that happened to me when I was walking in a shopping mall with my girlfriend at the time, not my current wife.
Okay.
And there was this like kind of gym muscly. It's very rare, but you do
Right.
see them occasionally, like a sort of
They're there.
muscly, yeah, they're there. The muscly gym guy, and he's walking. He's got his girlfriend with him, and he walks and he comes and he like shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, a massive like boom knocks me. So I wasn't expecting. I'm like, what the hell? And he just kept on walking. That was probably, you could tell that was the intent.
Right, right.
That was probably the only time there was any kind of real confrontation with me as far as that's concerned. But like I said, online, it's crazy.
Right.
And now for a word from our sponsor. So how do we get our videos up if we're in China? Well, it's pretty simple. We use a VPN. Thankfully, NordVPN, a company that we trust and use for our VPN needs, sponsored this video. If you go to nordvpn.com/ADVChina, you can get a massive discount on a subscription. But VPNs are not only just useful for China's censorship, VPNs can actually protect you, protect your sensitive data, and kind of keep a safety fence around what you do online so that other people, ISPs, and all that kind of stuff can't see your traffic. So also some very good practical uses are things like you want to access Netflix from a different country. You can actually change your IP to do that. You could also go and get cheaper plane tickets by hopping around different countries. So we wouldn't tell you to go buy something unless we use it ourselves. So thank you guys for supporting the channel and enjoy the rest of the show.
So the reason all this happens, and you guys can go see the comments for yourself, the reason that this happens is because there is a really, really strong idea amongst chauvinist male.
Before you jump on me for saying chauvinist male, I mean it in the traditional sense of the word, not in today's bastardization of toxic masculinity. Being chauvinist in China is actually the belief that men are better than women.
People in China, right?
Yeah.
That their woman, once they get that woman is theirs. It's not theirs to buy or sell or anything like this, but they definitely have the control over the relationship, which I find really weird because you'll see these videos of these guys getting the beat out of them by women and like, "Oh, please, sorry, girlfriend," like all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
But then there's still this underlying feeling that the man controls the woman, right? So they think that we just got one of their possessions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
This is mine. They just took it from me. They're Uyghur and they're foreigners. They took this from me. And they don't understand the values that we hold about women.
The thing is, at the end of the day, it's very cultural. Don't
Right.
forget, it goes back
Right.
to emperors having
Right.
concubines
Right.
and all this kind of
They
stuff.
still do.
I mean, most rich men have lots of mistresses,
Right.
right? It's kind of built into
Sure,
culture.
society, right?
It's the way it is. And also, I have to say, like, and I said this in my video about, are Chinese women heartless? The only reason I had the chance to marry my wife is because she had gotten divorced.
Right.
She
Right.
doesn't really like me talking about that.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not going to go into too much detail. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the fact that her cultural ideals and norms were broken by the fact that things didn't work out, she probably would have never been in a position to even think about dating or marrying a foreigner. And
Right.
in fact, when we first started dating, and this must have happened to you, because this happens to all my foreigner friends. When they get into a relationship with a Chinese girl, she doesn't want her family or her friends to know that she's dating a foreigner. It was the same with my wife, and I felt so insulted in the beginning.
I was a secret, and
Yeah.
when I used to have Vivi on the back of my bicycle in Huizhou, if she saw a family member, she would go run and hide.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it became a massive thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's incredibly insulting if your girlfriend doesn't want to admit that they're in a relationship with you.
Right.
You know, I've had girlfriends in China where when we're out in public, they will want to walk a few feet
Right.
away from me just
Yeah.
because they don't want other Chinese
Right.
people to know that they're with a foreigner
Right.
because of the stigma.
Right.
It's really annoying.
It's weird because the stigma is like positive, you know, for a lot of people's perspective. Wow, you got a foreigner like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then the general
It's like shame.
dajias, it's like that slut. Oh,
Yeah.
that's Vivi gets it way more than I did in public, by the way. People, especially women, will walk by and say things like, "What a slut! I bet she likes white." Things like that.
There's a special word they keep calling
Right.
Sasha. I don't know what it is, like something like something bitch, blah blah blah.
You know, a big comment that she gets in Chinese all the time in her channel is that she's a foreign toilet.
Foreign toilet. Oh.
Isn't that horrible?
It's terrible.
Right, but it's this, without getting triggered, it's this really horrible kind of really poisonous perception, toxic perception
Yeah.
that people have. And it doesn't help that, there are 30 to 40 million Chinese men that haven't, won't be able to find a wife.
I think a lot of the hate comes from those people because
Right.
I also find that, when it comes to, like in South Africa, you'll get a lot of that. Like, it's kind of rare to have mixed couples in South
Sure.
Africa. It is because of just of the history and everything,
Right.
right? But it happens.
It happens.
But the people that complain the most about it are the sort of losers, the guys who can't have a relationship.
Right.
And I feel like you've taken something, like an opportunity away from me.
Right, and that's just the saddest thing, though, is that even if I didn't exist, I was never born.
Yeah.
My wife wouldn't marry you, the guy behind the keyboard. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have married her, so your chances haven't changed.
Yeah, it was tough to get into a relationship with my wife.
Right.
It took a lot of hard work
Right.
and effort, just like any relationship, you know
Right,
what I mean?
and treating someone as an equal and,
And it's
becoming
a competition.
friends.
Don't forget, like, when I met her, she had a boyfriend. Everyone's like, "Oh, you stole her from a Chinese." He wasn't Chinese. He was like
Russian or some
Latvian,
shit.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Like, tall, massive
Right,
Latvian
soccer
guy.
star.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like all you guys out there, it was a real competition. That's that whole all fairs and love and war thing. It's a fight. It's a battle. And come out victorious.
And I like that. But in reality, it's just about who you love, who you fall in love with. And that's what I think a lot of Chinese men don't understand,
Yeah.
is that it's not about, I have the money, I have this. F you,
Yeah.
this is mine. It's not how it works, right?
about
You
love,
didn't,
it's about
when you won,
relationships.
you didn't own Sasha,
No, of course
right?
not. I won a game.
You won a game because she loved you and you loved her. It's
Yeah.
very simple, right?
Yeah, and that's the prize.
Right.
That's the prize.
The prize is a healthy
Yes,
relationship.
absolutely. And I've never been in a better one my entire life.
And but that's why there's so many marital problems in China. It's another topic for another time, but
Sure.
it's getting worse. It's
Yeah,
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Absolutely. So I mean, at
Anyway.
the end of the day, guys, I know we're going to get a lot of hate from nationalists
anymore.
all around the globe right now. But whether you believe in like race mixing or the purity of your blood or the whatever, this kind of nonsense.
Women are not possession.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people are people. At least that's what makes Western civilization so great, is the belief in individuals. So you're an individual. You get to choose your partner. No matter where they're from. And it shouldn't be a big issue. And you don't own people. I can't. If I were to try and tell you that I own every single white woman in South Africa, that'd be a lie.
Right.
Because I've got no damn receipts.
Very true.
Seriously.
And for all the people that have spread the hate and have said that we've stolen their women, I apologize to you. But instead of telling you to go screw yourself, what I would like to say is, get away from the keyboard, put away the hand lotion, turn the LOL off, get out of the Wang Ba. Go
Yes.
outside and try to put yourself out there, because there's still a ton of women that might be interested in you. And getting angry at this whole situation, us putting ourselves on video with our loving wives,
Yeah.
is not going to make you find a woman more easily. So
Yeah, I'm going to
Jaya.
riff off that a little bit and just say that life is a competition. And biologically anyway, women will go for the strongest or the most dependable man out there, or the most unique and interesting man out there. So as a man, you should put a lot of time and effort into trying to become that
One of
better
those
man.
things. Or
like literally, you are sitting, like you said, in
Right.
one bar with all your friends playing LOL. How about instead of that, you go out and you start doing some exercise, or you start to learn something different, or you
Right.
go out and learn how to dress well, or you just do something
an activity,
that
a social
sets you
activity.
apart. It
Right.
doesn't matter if there's a massive shortage of women in China. The ones that are there will choose you over all the other guys. So just put some effort into yourself and stop blaming, Lao Weil, I guess.
fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, like seriously though, whether you are a loveless troglodyte or not, we love you all the same. Honestly,
We do.
Like some of my best friends are troglodytes.
There you go.
You know. And until next time, I guess do your like, comment, subscribe thing, and then
Sure. What do you get? Go down in the comment section. Tell us, what do you think? Do you think that women, or do you think that people should choose someone based on race or their economic status or something, or should you choose someone based on your actual? I know what you guys are going to say. I don't know why I'm asking this question, but tell us your thoughts below and give us a like if you like the video. Subscribe to see future videos as well.
yeah. And if you keep doing this in front of the camera, they won't need to worry about you stealing their women anymore. They'll be
True.
complaining you're stealing their men. No, I'm just kidding. You better not put that in. That will be called something terrible. Anyway,
I reversed it.
yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, you know the drill. Stay awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching ADVChina. You can catch a new episode every single Monday at 1 p.m. EST. Up in the top right corner, you can watch another Lao 86 video, which comes out every Wednesday at 1 p.m. EST. And down below the Lao 86 video, you can watch Winston at SerpentZA every single Friday at 1 p.m. EST. Thanks.